Hey guys, another video for our Healthcare in Japan playlist. So, from the 13th of March, the government guidelines in relation to the wearing of masks changed, and they said that the wearing of masks either inside or outside would be now up to the individual to decide whether they wanted to wear it or not. So, with the exception of health care institutions and so on, so medical clinics and things like that, where we're still expected to wear them. And then lots of companies released statements to say what their policies were going to be, because obviously they can decide what happens inside their own premises. So in the case of 7-Eleven, they said that it would be up to the customers to decide whether they wanted to wear a mask or not, but the staff would continue to wear them. That was the policy that the 7-Eleven brought in, and a few other companies were sort of similar to that as well. But as we predicted in a previous video, nothing much has changed. As you can see by what we're looking at here, everybody that came and went from this store while we were sitting outside, everybody wore a mask, and people were getting out of their cars either already wearing them, or they'd get out of their car and put one on and walk inside. Everyone except the exception of one old man that you'll see later on who didn't wear one, but everybody else did. So as we predicted in a previous video, nothing has changed. You know, they love the mask. They absolutely love the mask. Also, of course, it is pollen season in Japan. The trees are releasing pollen and the flowers are releasing pollen. So it is hay fever season. And just about everybody you meet will tell you that they've got hay fever. There's the one dude without a mask. So just about everyone you meet will tell you that they've got hay fever. But the interesting thing is that the health industry statistics are that only 20% of Japanese people have hay fever. But if you ask people, they all seem to tell you that they get hay fever and allergies and things like that. And that's an excuse a lot of them do wear for the masks. But as we've talked about previously, they've always loved the mask. You know, the first video we made about people wearing masks in Japan was 10 years ago, well before COVID-19. And they just love wearing the mask. So it hasn't changed. So in our travels the last week, we have seen the occasional person in a shop or some other public place inside not wearing a mask. We have seen a couple of them. But as we predicted previously, 99.9% of them are still wearing them. So of course they loved wearing the mask before COVID, but we've just had 3 years of being told constantly about how dangerous it was to go anywhere without a mask. So they've been stoking the paranoia and stoking the fear for 3 years. You know, both the government and the companies and everybody else have been, you know, pushing it for 3 years, how dangerous it is to go anywhere without a mask, how important it is to wear a mask. So obviously, if the paranoia wasn't, the germ phobia wasn't high enough already, after 3 years of stoking it like that, you know, it's at all-time high now, isn't it? So it's sort of sad. We know a lot of younger people in particular who just don't want to take it off. You know, we've got people in our immediate family who try and tell them to take it off, and look at them 2 minutes later, they've put it back on again. You know, we know a lot of young, like high school kids and so on, that have just got so used to it. It's such a social crutch now, hiding behind it. And because in this society, it's always been acceptable. Well, it has been for the last 100 years. Wearing a mask has always been acceptable. So it's not a it's a thing it's considered to be like socially responsible or something, and even more so now. So, you know, as we predicted, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Some people will probably slowly, some people will stop, but the majority are going to continue to do it. Still loving the mask in Japan. More videos coming soon.